Well, good morning. We're in a beautiful home just on the outskirts of Bozeman. Joining me this morning, Jackie and Trecie. This home has a special significance, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But first, Jackie, give me a little history of the house if you can.
So this property was an early homestead property in Bear Canyon, and Bessie Lawrence was the name of the gal who homesteaded here. Her family did. I believe in the 1890s, but the actual part of the cabin that we're in was built in 1953. She used it as like lodging for loggers who worked in the mill up here, and Cooper's flume came through the property, and it was in pretty rough shape when we acquired the property. I believe it was 2011 or 12, right at the end of the year there, and it's been quite a process, but we've been able to renovate it and bring some of its original character back to life, which we're really proud of.
All of that being said, Trecie, we're talking about this little partnership between the two of you here. Tell me a little bit about that if you can, because it lends to what we're talking about here at this home in Bear Canyon.
Well, I basically just want to hang out with Jackie all day. That's what our partnership's about. I think the most important part of our relationship is that we share the same passion, and that starts with Montana. And we are raising our children here, which is the most important thing to us. But the other thing that we really, really are passionate about is using our local craftsmen, because we have so many talented people in this valley, to really think outside of the box and make sure that we include them into these renovations that we do. Not only does it bring out our real estate agent selves, that your resale is going to be better and that you'll have more character in your home, but these people are our friends and neighbors. Our kids go to school with their parents. Like, we want our local community to make sure that we keep our money local.
To do that, though, that is a challenge. I mean, you're talking about a building here that I know Jackie was telling me that should have been torn down at one point. Right. That's what people were saying. It takes a little extra effort to do that, but you feel it's worth it when it comes, everything is said and done? I
do. Again, resale is always what we're thinking, to make sure that the money we put in, we're going to get out. But it also adds character. And this stone is Chief Joseph stone from Montana. These floors were milled. How old were these floors, Jackie?
This is actually the floors have a whole nother story. Every piece does. And actually that lends it to what we're talking about, though. Like, what the reason I'm so passionate about preserving a building, even when people say you shouldn't, is that everything does have a story, and it lends, so much character. And I don't know, it's just, I think it's important to preserve the stories personally. But yeah, the floors were a barn that I carried around with me for like 20 years, and I had Big Timber Works out in Gallatin Gateway mill them for me. And there's a little bit of Bozeman pecanery fir thrown in here as well. So It's a barn for Michigan, a little bit of Bozeman, turned into a beautiful floor thanks to our guys out at Big Timber Works. Yeah.
That transitions really nicely into what kind of brought us all together this morning, is the fact that you two are partnering on a possibility of sharing that story with a lot of other people and a lot of other stories as well. Talk to me about the project with HGTV.
So Trecie and I have been really lucky to have the opportunity to shoot a pilot for HGTV called Montana Home, which will be airing, we believe, on Tuesday the 19th, time to be determined. And we have, for the first project, we renovated a home in Manhattan. And really the way we approach these properties is, we're both realtors, so we look for properties for buyers that are going to be good candidates for a renovation for them to live in. We're not a flippers market here in Montana. We all know our real estate prices are pretty high. It's rare that you get an opportunity to flip something and make it worth it. But I have a background in construction all through college. I've done, timber framing, roofing, tile framing, concrete, the whole bit. Big Timber Works was one of my jobs, actually. And then Trecie comes in from the design standpoint. So when we assess a property, we're looking at it from, what condition is it in? Where's our budget going to be spent? What kind of money is going to go where? And then Trecie looks at all the finishes, designs, and, we do collaborate on both too, but that's really her strong suit and then mine. And that's why I think we make a great team.
Well, I'll ask you that then, Trecie. Jackie says it's a pretty good team. You give me your slant on this then.
Well, I think most importantly, we have fun. And our kids are the same age, and so we understand the stresses and being working moms and all of that stuff too, and support each other. I don't know, it is so fun when we're out there. It definitely can be stressful, but the things we find are amazing. Antique lighting. I'm obsessed with anything that's old, and so Jackie's always making fun of me. Oh, there she goes crying again. But it makes that property unique, and we get to meet our community, and it's definitely worth it in the end.
Yeah. Is it a blank slate? I'll ask either one of you this. Is it a blank canvas when you walk into a place that obviously is going to need some work? Is it, I mean, do you look at it through the same eyes, a little different eyes? How do you come to an agreement on when you're looking at it? Because that story hasn't been told yet.
I think we both try to pick out the features that are worth preserving. Because I feel like there's always something, like even in this house, these are the original ceilings. People think we added them, but that was there, worth preserving, worth saving. So we both have an eye for that because we're nerdy like that. If it's like, I'd rather have something old that looks cool than something prefabby and new. And then, oh gosh, where were we going with this? Oh, blank slate. Yeah. No, I wouldn't call it a total blank slate because, I mean, every house is different, and you have to problem solve and work around the issues that are there and the layouts that are there and just rethink everything. So rather than calling it a blank slate, I like to think of it as just like almost like a Rubik's Cube. You know, you kind of have to figure out how to take what's there and put it all together and make it work.
There's another element of that, though. You were talking about this is not a flipper's market. You're doing this for somebody that's going to be living there, and there's constraints built into that as well. Their story has to be a part of the story that's there, too.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up because we get very attached to our buyers because you're with them, and we need to understand their family, their dynamic, their lifestyle in order to really create the right environment for them. The one we just finished in Manhattan, the kitchen was in the wrong spot. And so we had to completely, I mean, it was like, oh, I didn't even really want to do it. I was like, I don't know how we're going to do this. And we just dove in, and it ended up being so neat.
That house almost was a blank slate, though. It had almost nothing worth saving, I'll have to say. But you can't.
So HGTV, Montana Home or not, this little partnership's going to continue doing these things?
Yeah, we both are together at Small Dog Realty and just love working together. And, I mean, I think it's our friendship that kind of started all this and has grown into this other opportunity. And regardless of what happens, she's stuck with me.
True?
True.
Okay, I just want to make sure you were in agreement on that. I don't want to mess anybody up on that. Again, Trecie and Jackie joining us this morning. HGTV program coming up soon. We'll have the broadcast for that Tuesday. That's September what we're saying 19th. On that. And you can look for that on HGTV. Ladies, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Chet.
We're going to take a quick break. Much more Montana this morning. 2 minutes.